Good evening, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about the evolution of art exhibition, and I will lead to the rise of the lowbrow art, which is not quite an art movement right now, but it gained popularity in recent years. First of all, I would like to say sorry to everyone that I cannot present at the class today, and I have to let you study on the video record. Art has to be displayed because if you work and you keep it in your house, nobody can see it. However, art in the past are very expensive, or sometimes it it might be a commission from monarchy or the nobles or a very powerful person in the village to produce something or to craft something for them. Once the nobles or the head of the village or whoever got your art, they will keep it in their private house or private space. So it will be a private collection. The idea of public art exhibition is actually quite new. Um, in the past, we don't want to show our art or our collection to the public. Okay, we might show it to friends or guests, but we don't want to show it to the public. Everyone who see my collection must be someone I know them. I would like to go back to the prehistoric era. This is one of the Thailand prehistoric paintings in Khao Plara. This is the name of the mountain. Khao means mountain. Khao Plara is located in Uthai Thani, which is the province in the northeastern part of Thailand. Human knows how to exhibit their work. At least when you draw something on the cave wall, you show them to your sibling, to your family, or to your friends who live in the same cave. And this is very important, as I told you before. The idea of art gallery cannot be real, cannot be realized if we don't show the art to other people. Market. Some might find it surprised that I um, try to find a relationship between art and market. However, market is something that shaped the art world nowadays. And market is one of the oldest form of exhibitions. We have to present the quality of the goods or craft or product, whatever. We have to present that quality to other people. For the product, if you have a pot, you have to say that, oh, your pot is equal to uh, $1. Or if you do the barter trade, you might present that, okay, your pot is so good, it might equal to two chickens, or it might equal to uh, one sword. And 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 the quality of the pot must be shown. Okay, if your pot is very durable, If your pot is so look so beautiful, whatever, you have to show that quality to other people. This is the exhibition. Art also need uh, the exhibition to communicate their quality. I don't want to go back to the past too much. So I would like to start from the Renaissance period. Unfortunately, I cannot find the photography of the Renaissance period. The one that quite closest to what I would like to say is the painting by Johann Sofani in 1770. Um, he was invited by the Medici family to record some important private collection in Medici Palace. So this might be the real architecture of the Medici Palace, but um, it is an attempt from the artist to rec to record uh, the art collection of the Medici family. You can see that um, noble family or the powerful family in Europe collect so many artworks as a private collection. And yeah, this is quite sarcastic that the owner might not able to remember how many artworks they got, so they need to ask another painter to paint how many painting they got. Again, um, we still in the private collection era. Uh, the family, I believe that Medici family at that period of time, the 17, the, the 1770s, they don't have an intention to let other people go to their palace and investigate, I would say, investigate their own collection. And since they have so many paintings, they have to find a wall to hang that paintings. It's quite normal that they will hang the painting on the wall of the corridor, which is called the Galleria in Italian. It reflects the culture in Italy that if you are rich and powerful, you support the artist, and then you collect the work from the artist and you show them in your corridor. And the concept of the Galleria is the root of the nowadays gallery. However, nowadays gallery we 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 don't have to create a corridor space like the Italian palace. It could be in any shape, but the idea of putting the painting on the wall, I believe it's still the same. Um, there might be some provocative artists that might ask the curator to put the artwork on the floor or on the ceiling, but I believe that 90 or 95% they will hang the painting on the wall like this. So after 300 years old, the idea of art exhibition is not changing at all. This is another example of Galleria in Italy. This is the Corsini Palace Museum. It still preserve the tradition of painting hung on the wall. But you have to one thing that you must bear in mind that this is the private collection. So you might got a question, why this painting is so high? Why you put this painting on this wall, not on that wall? This is private collection. They don't need any reason to put the painting there. They just want to I just want to put it there and it must be there. Um, Unlike the gallery, I mean the commercial gallery that you might find in in the city nowadays, that okay, painting must got a space. We have to make sure that they got enough light, they got enough space to exhibit their qualities, to exhibit the idea behind the painting. Um, that's something new and very modern. In the old day, Galleria is just the place to keep the collections. As I told you before, if you are rich, if you are very important in the city, if you're noble, monarchy, you can have a big house, palace, mansion, or whatever, and you can have a galleria. This is a very long corridor in your big house. But the middle class in the 16th and 17th century, okay, the status and social status and financial status, I believe that it was much better than the medieval period. The middle class um, are, are the very important group in 16th and 17th century. They have knowledge. Some got an education. They might study science. They might go to see the world. They might visit so many countries in the world, and they might have a different taste. They 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 collect so many things from so many places because they can move to different places and they have a knowledge enough to critique what they found. Um, you might want to collect stone. You might want to another guy might want to collect a butterfly. Anyway, there are some middle class who still want to collect art, and the art they collect might different from the art collect by the nobles. Um, when I say different, it might be different in technique or different in content or story behind the painting. It's okay. Um, but the problem is they don't have a corridor. They don't have the long corridor. They just have a room. It might be a big room, big enough to put all the collection together and big enough to invite friends and guests to enjoy his or her own collection. And this is the root of one of the most important thing in exhibition called the cabinet of curiosity. In German, I believe it's called the Wunderkammer. but normally we will call it a cabinet of curiosity. I think it's quite cool to have this kind of cabinet in your house. It shows that you are not ordinary. You got a knowledge, and I don't know, it might show that you go to so many places in the world. That's why you can collect it, or it might show that um you are sophisticated enough to have some art collection. The the trend of having cabinet of curiosity was the foundation of the museum. The first private museum in the world, um, it was established in UK. It used to be the Cabinet of Curiosity, um, but the owner of that place found that if they advertise the place as Cabinet of Curiosity, it might be too common. So he did some research, and he find that in the past there's a place called museum that in Alexandria that collect so many collectible and use as it's kind of like a university to let the intellectual in the society to gathering, see the specimen and develop some theory or some knowledges. So he adopted that idea of museum and turned his cabinet of curiosity to the museum. Um, that kind of museum is nat now we might call it a natural history museum, not an art museum. Um, Even though they got the same root, which is the Cabinet of Curiosity, but the Natural History Museum and Art Museum, they develop differently. Um, if you collect the specimen, you will be the Natural History Museum, but if you collect the artworks, you will be an art gallery. And the art gallery, you because you are the middle class, you have the art gallery, you invite people to see your art, um, and someone might want to buy it. And if they offer you enough, you might want to sell it. And art gallery then become a market. It become a market, and it become a business. If you collect, I don't know, if you collect a popular artwork, you can attract so many people. And when you say you want to sell it, many people want to come and offer you more and more. And they got a competition, and art auction began. Um, I cannot find the first art auction in the world. There's no record who is the first one who established the art auction. However, we find that James Christie, which is the owner of the Christie, one of the prominent auction house in the world, was found the Christie auction house in 1766. And that we can see that their business goes very well up until now. Right now, they can do the auction of so many things, not just the art. They, it may be the art, uh, antique, or even the digital art, NFT, everything. Christie can do the auction. you might find it quite um, difficult to understand art um, in the Renaissance because you cannot access to the private collection. But after they are they have so many um, art gallery that open to the public, people can enjoy art or at least expose to artwork more often. But if you are the business owner, you cannot you cannot just show the same artwork or one style of artwork. And one more thing is the trade, I mean the sea trade in the 19th century grew so much. So they brought so many um, interesting objects from far, far away. And it seems like European people love Japanese art so much in the 19th century. Um, and I don't know why, but the Japanese art played an important role of the art movement called the Impressionism. And the reason why I have to mention about the Japanese art or Japanism because um, people are more and more educated and people are more and more um, cultural. So they are looking for something new. Now it's not just about the technique, it's not just about the story. Um, okay, the Christian the art that related to Christian, I still believe they still um got some popularity in certain area, but people are looking for something else. And the way Japanese approach to the art was so different from the way European people approach to the art, especially the painting, because Japan is quite a naturalism, and the the the, the content in the artworks actually not the printing sorry actually not the painting Japanese artwork that quite popular in European country in 19th century is printing the woodblock printing. The content is about the nature, mountain, Mount Fuji, or ordinary people who are walking along the street. um, you might you might have heard about the name of the hokusai or the hokusai in Japanese. Hokusai, um, he famous for his great wave, the tsunami uh, printing that tsunami is going to go the big tsunami that going to reach the shore, and small boat is struggle to survive this big wave. Uh, okay, back to the role of the gallery in Europe. Um, Now we are talking about the Galleria, which is evolved to the modern gallery already. But there are some um, there are some exhibition that evolve from the private collection. Um, we call it a salon or the exposition. Salon, one of the famous salon is the Paris Salon. The Paris Salon is an exposition run by the French government. Um, I believe that it it started during the King Louis XIV in 1667. Um, in the beginning, it it aimed to be an exhibition of the the Beaux-Arts or the fine art students because you um you might know that the education is uh, grow bigger and bigger. Not just ordinary education, art education as well. So you can produce um, a skillful artist and in a mass productive way. It's like in the past you might you might need to go to the house of the master in your hometown and you have to live there and the master might have 10 or 20 disciples, but with the education, yeah, um, on the graduation day you might have 100 students. This batch may be 100, the next batch might be 110 or 90 something, but they have the consistency produce the new artists to the society. And one one way to exhibit the quality of these students is to hold the exhibition, and that's why the Paris Salon began in 1667. Um, Even though France um, passed so many political issues, um, the Paris Salon um, still run um, quite consistently, and the work, the artwork that passed the very strict um, uh, the, the the very strict selection from the committee and exhibit in the salon might receive a positive, I would say, we receive positive comment from the public. So right now, the Paris Salon is not an exhibition of the student anymore. They open to whoever, and okay, but that whoever supposed to be an artist, it open to every artist who want to submit the their best work to the salon. And once it, it was hung on the wall of the salon, um, you can make sure that you'll be famous and people will buy your painting with a high price. That's why salon is um, very competitive. Every everyone want to go to the salon. It's just the only way to be recognized by the public. Okay, some people pass the strict selection from the salon. Um, so this is a zero sum game. So somebody pass and somebody fail. Those who were rejected by the salon, normally they are very upset and they have to practice more, keep practicing, and okay, I will resubmit m- the better work for the next year. But in 1863, there's an exhibition called the Salon de Refuse. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but this is the exhibition of those who are rejected by the salon. I mean, rejected by the government-run institution, and it's quite fun because although they are rejected, they show some creativity. It's something new because you can see this picture. On the left hand side is the artwork that curated by the salon. Actually, it is quite a good artwork painted by Winterhalter. Um, it is the Empress Eugenie sitting in the garden with her ladies. Um, very skillful, very beautiful, very lovely painting. The same year, 1963. This painting is painted 1955, but it was selected by the Salon on 1863. The same year that Eduard Manet, one of our Impressionism artists, submit the Luncheon on the Grass to the Salon, and it was rejected. I'm not surprised why it was rejected in 1863. It showed nudity, and the composition is quite nonsense and very mythical. And the way they use the light in the painting is so weird for me. Even nowadays, it quite unusual way to to um to to use the lighting like this in the painting. Lighting, everything are so weird in this painting. So it was rejected. And this is this is very fortunate that some artists record um, the atmosphere of the selection of the salon. I find this is very scary. If I'm an artist and I know that I have to compete with the huge amount of the painting like this, this is super scary for me. Uh, I, I I think it's quite similar to Chinese Gaokao or the university exam that you have to compete with so many students. Um, there's a group of artists who were rejected by the salon. Okay, broken heart artists who failed to pass the exam of the salon. Um, Claude Monet, Bert Morisot, Edgar Degas, Eduard Manet, uh, Pissarro, so many famous artists who cannot pass the salon. Uh, uh, they were exhibited. Sorry, they exhibited their artwork with uh, the exposition of the refuse, and and then they got an idea. Why don't we just hold our own exhibition? Why we just we are so outcast. Um, even though how hard that you try to submit the work to the salon, they will reject you anyway. And the exhibition of the reject artwork, it might be so big, too many artists in the exhibition. Why why don't we just exhibit something? um I mean, our group, yeah, like I told you before, Manet, Monet, Degas, Pissarro, and Cezanne. Why don't we just group together and exhibit our own work? And we call it they name the exhibition as the premier exhibition, the premier exposition, and it it was exhibited at the place called the Nada Studio. Nada actually is a photographer, and and this exhibition they don't name themselves the impressionism or the impressionist. Impressionist is the name that they received. Someone give this name to them. The media give this name to them. That and it come from the painting called Impression Sunrise. And actually, that critique write about this painting in, okay, I would say it in a bad way. That they don't like it. And so many sarcasm in the critique, the Impression Sunrise, and they call this, oh, you are impressionist, that's why your painting is so bad. Um, but this group love it. Yeah, impressionist. It the name, it at least it is the name that explain the idea of work. But you should bear in mind that this group don't have the manifesto. They're just a collection of the artists who fail to pass the selection of the salon. So they group together and they become friends. Some some artists might close to other artists, and sometimes they don't like each other. For example, Paul Cézanne, Manet. I don't know why Manet don't like Cézanne. And in the first exhibition, Manet even um, refused to exhibit his work with Cézanne. But at the end, they exhibit the work together. But this is a group that don't have a strong or clear theory or manifesto. It's just a collection of the artists. You can see the work of the Claude Monet. This is the painting of the scenery. They love he loved nature. He paint a lot of haystack, and I believe that uh, 10 years before he died, he paint a lot of water lily. But he loved the outdoor painting. Degas, another painter, he loved people. Nature might not be his inspiration, but he loved to paint the dancer, the ballerina in the theater. Beth Morisot, this is the female painter in Impressionist group. I really love the work of Beth Morisot. I find her work is quite delicate, and her work always depict the relationship between people. Um, let's say this one, the cradle. It um, show how mother is taking care her baby. It's quite delicate compared to other impressionist artists. I cannot find the photo of the impressionism artists while they exhibit at the Nada studio. I can find only the photo of the Nada studio in 1861. But it's not a gallery in the modern sense. It's not a white wall. It's not. It is not a big space. The open plan that you can walk to everywhere. It's more like a house. It's more like a house with so many objects, but people can walk freely to see the painting on hung on the wall. The movement of the big art exhibition, even though it was originated by the Paris Salon or Salon, but please allow me to say it, Salon. Um, it was adopted by Venice City, Venezia or the Venice City try to find the festival to reboot to reboot the economy of the city. You can see that the modern Italy, the unification of Italy is just 1861. So every city have to bring in the money. So the mayor of the Venice city decided to create the festival called the Venice Biennale, which is a biannual biennale. And right now, it is the oldest biennale, the art biennale that still survive up until now. But it the way they exhibit the artwork is still in a traditional way. They use the old building, supposed to be a palace or a mansion, and they put the artwork on the wall, and they let the people walk around the space freely. But the space of the gallery, they still appropriate the old space from the palace or from the mansion. They didn't build uh, the the uh, the flat white wall to exhibit the artwork at all. And this is the on the top right of the, the slide. You can see the picture of Symphony in White, painted by Whistler. Um, it it showed that the style of the painting um, curated by the Venice Biennale in 1895 um, was quite different from what the uh, Impressionist group trying to achieve. Anyway, this is just a different taste and different condition, but it happened in the same period of time. And okay, it also reflects the different perspective of the curator or the committee. I believe that at the time it's still a committee who select the work. So Paris Salon might have their own taste. Venice Biennale also got their own taste. Unlike the global contemporary art nowadays, I think every places they have they share some core theory about the contemporary art. I will talk about it later, but right now we just focus on the role of the gallery and the exhibition. Okay, however, the reason why I talk about the Paris Salon, which is an exposition or exhibition, and I have to talk about the Venice Biennale because now art exhibition is grow bigger and bigger, and participation to that huge event, artists cannot control um, the way they would like to communicate their quality to other people because you have to use the palace, which is the biggest architecture that people in 19th century can find. Um, and you cannot control anything. You have to hang your haystack painting. Let's say if you are Monet, you have to hang your haystack painting um, on the Baroque wall, or you have or Whistler have to hang this painting on the Renaissance palace. It it I'm not sure it might work. Artists in the 19th century, they might not think too much about the space around the painting. I don't know. However, there are a group of artists called the Vienna Secession, and this group got a leader named Gustav Klimt. Gustav Klimt, he got his education from the University of Applied Arts in Vienna, and I believe that his skill is very outstanding. He got a gold medal award from the Paris Exposition in 19 in year 1900, and which is quite an important which is quite an important event in the history. Um, that exposition is very huge, and um, and the historian find that they attract like 1 million people to Paris. And you have to remember that this is something happened 100 years ago. We don't have an airplane. You have to go there by ship only. So and they can attract millions of people. This is quite extraordinary. And Gustav Klimt won the medal from this exposition. But Klimt is a visionary. He his skill is not just painting. Actually, if you study his work, he paint. He paint like traditional painting. He paint on the canvas, but his specialization is to do the decorative art. He do the mural work as well. If you have big house, you find that white wall is not uh, beautiful enough for you, you just ask him to paint something very, very beautiful for you. And so it might be it might be something in his mind that he have to adapt to the space, he have to adapt to the environment many times. So he got an idea that artists should exhibit the artworks in the space that prepared for the artist, not just randomly use any place to exhibit the artwork. So he and his group, the Vienna Secession, which comprised of artists from many disciplines, the painter, the decorator, the architect, and sculptor. They form the group of the Vienna Secession, and they they build the building called the Secession Building. This building got one purpose: to exhibit their artworks. I think this is the first time that we got an idea that we should have an architecture for artwork. Yeah, this is the house of the artworks. This is not just somebody house or the government office, and we just appropriate that space. This made for art, and you can see the white wall, very flat white wall, um, no decoration, and this white wall allow the artwork to exhibit themselves, which is um, perfect to promote them. Um, fun fun fact. Gustav Klimt got a rival. He got a rival. His rival named Adolf Loos, Loos, Adolf Loos, who is an architect. And Adolf Loos critiqued the work of Klimt a lot. He Loos found that Klimt's artwork decorated too much, too many detail, too many nonsense. Luz himself, he got an education in Austria, but then he moved to America during the industrial period in America. So he adopted some idea of the industrialist. Everything must have function. Everything uh, must be very uh, efficient. Everything must be very efficient. Um, And the way, if you do some research and if you study loose design, because he's an architect, so he do the design, not the art. You see very simple line or very um, it show a different aesthetic that the Vienna Secession might not accept it. However, when it comes to the space to exhibit the artwork, I find that Klimt is very minimalism, very minimalistic for the space to show the artwork. But his decorative work is very lavish. They got a lot of line and expensive material like gold or color. But for the art exhibition, it's very minimalistic. Another art exhibition that um, affect the modern gallery a lot is the degenerate art exhibition by the Nazis in 1936. Um, on the left hand side, you can see Goebbels, who is one of Adolf Hitler's strategist, but Goebbels is specialized in mass communication. So he tried to promote a proper aesthetic to the people, and the proper or the preferred aesthetic is quite traditional and moral. It slightly on the moral. Hmm. And the way he promote the proper artwork is very interesting. I think Gobbo, for the mass communication, he is a genius. he not just exhibit the work he like, he also exhibit the work he don't like. And the work he don't like is called degenerate art. Um, More than 15,000 artworks are listed in degenerate art exhibition, and many big name of the artists are listed in this exhibition, like Edward Munch, and Paul Klee, Pete Mondrian, and Fabuch, um, and so many others. That right today their work is it's very expensive, or I would say it's priceless. But at the time, they are listed as degenerate. Uh, Go back to the generate one, the good one, the good one. Okay, degenerate is the bad one. This is the exhibition of the good one that promoted by Hitler and Goebbels. Um, it's quite traditional. This is the exhibition called House of German Art. Okay. And yeah, it's quite traditional. Clear line, nice color, not provocative at all, compared to uh, the degenerate art or the bad one. Um, um, the shape of the human is very truncated. I would say the truncated. It reduced the shape of the people, and the brush stroke is too thick and too rough. Okay, and the color is too dark, I would say. And after and because they collect so many art, it's like they collect like 15,000 artworks from all over the country. After exhibition, they they have to get rid of this degenerate, because if it's bad, they have to demolish or just get rid of it. Um, from my research, 5,000 of them was 5,000 of them uh, was sent to sorry, 5,000 of them were burned down in Berlin, and many of them, which I cannot find the exact number, was sold in a very low price to private collector, and that private collector is not an important or famous collector. It might be a, a commoner, ordinary people who want to have some artwork in their house, or who just love that piece of art. So it's affordable. It's very affordable. Let's say on the top left, the Phantom Perspective by Paul Klee. Um, I found that one of the immigrant brought this artwork to America when they have to uh, because the Jewish got a very tough time in Germany at the early of the 20th century. So they moved to America, and then they brought this artwork with them. That's why this artwork is not that expensive. So ordinary people can possess this artwork, and they also brought this artwork with them to America. And but okay, right now the price is going like crazy, but at that time it's very 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 cheap. And this exhibition spread out the artwork from this famous nowadays famous artist to the private collector. and many of them moved to America. Yeah, so they also brought a lot of these artists artwork to America with them. Um, After World War II, America became the center of the art world, and New York is the capital city of the modern art world. Um, all the art that used to be uh, very cheap in the past, right now it become very expensive. And because New York is like a pot that collect so many artworks in the city, so the gallery in New York grow bigger and bigger. In terms of the number and in terms of the size of the gallery, um, uh, the during the World War II made New York art art gallery grow way much bigger than ever. Um, on the left hand side, you might recognize him, Salvador Dali, very famous painter, the surrealist painter. He also exhibit his work in New York. Um, he Dali actually he got a love-hate relationship with the institution and the gallery in Europe. But American gallery love him and and exhibit his work and purchase his work. Um, I believe that it's not just the dealer, I mean the art dealer themselves who got a vision that which artwork will got a higher price in the future, but it's all about the political situation, economic situation at that period of time that drive the gallery in New York to become the capital of the art world. I would like to quote something from the academic journal. Art dealers are often described as gatekeepers who are focused on their own position as well as the status of their artists and collectors. Art dealerships reflect both competitive and communal factors. Art dealer and gallery cannot be separated. Mm. Yeah, we cannot separate art dealer and gallery. Um, Gallery have to survive by uh, selling art and purchasing art. You have to sell higher than you you buy. They have to they have to maintain the status of the artist. Um, if if the artist decide to change the career, the price of the artwork will drop so much. Let's say, okay, if I were an artist and I paint every day, but after 50, I won a lottery and I don't paint anymore. I would like to become I would like to become a musician. I don't do painting anymore. So my status as artist, I mean my status as painter uh, will be collapsed. So art dealer and gallery have to convince me to keep painting, to keep uh, produce some uh, painting. Please don't quit painting. And because if I quit painting, collector will be very upset. Okay, I buy your work at a very high price because I hope that your work uh, will the price of your work will be higher and higher in the future. I buy your artwork with 10,000 baht today, and I expect that it will be 20 or 30,000 baht in 10 years time. But if you quit from 10,000 might be reduced to 5,000. This is unacceptable. So art dealer have to, yeah, maintain um, the status. And the question is, what art dealer did is good to the community or not? And this is the, a, a very modern question. In the past, art dealer don't have to think that much about the community. They just focus on their own gallery, on their own artists, or focus on how to please the collectors. But right now, I believe that some movement in the society, it let everybody have to concern more about the community, not to mention the natural environment, but at least you have to focus more on the community and what is the role of the gallery that respond to the society or community. Um, I would like to let you see the image of the painting that uh, might slightly you might not like you you might not find it I don't know what to say. You might find out it quite convincing from the nowadays perspective, but this is something we call it a cultural taste, and it made by the Harper Bazaar magazine. Let's say they are right, and in 1850 to 1860, if you have a painting about Jesus Christ, wow, you have a very good taste. And you have a painting by the Whistler. Don't forget that Whistler also won a prize from Venice Biennale. Painting from the Whistler is also a high price. Yeah. Oh, oh, sorry. The painting from the Whistler not happened yet. Sorry. If you in 1850, if you got a painting about Jesus Christ, this is you have a good taste. If you got a painting from Duran, the middle one is okay. But if you got a childish painting, the kid on the bottom left, oh, this is the bad taste. This is the bad taste. If you hung this painting on the wall, very bad taste. On on 1870 to 1890, Whistler, who won the prize from Venice Biennale, he won the prize, so he must be a prominent figure in the art world. So if you have the Whistler painting on the wall, good taste. And the middle one, okay, it is okay. And the lower one, no, it's like a too cartoonish. Bad taste. Okay, and then it getting more interesting. Um, in 19, 1910 to 1920, Whistler, who used to be the good taste, become so middle. So many people paint like him. This is too ordinary. But Van Gogh, Van Gogh is very new. Yeah, very provocative. Van Gogh is highbrow, very good, tasteful. Yeah. And if you love the photography, oh, photography, um, a very low level, lowbrow. You don't have a good taste anymore. However, it changed again. Um, the the image that used to be a lowbrow, um, the Griffith film became a highbrow in 1940. And Van Gogh, right now, or 1940, Van Gogh is very common. Um, you have so many Van Gogh in the society. Oh, Whistler, Whistler, boring. Oh, this is 1950. You still paint like Whistler. So boring. So Whistler is a bad taste. Van Gogh is just okay. And the Griffith film become a good taste. So I would like to show you that taste change over time. Something used to be a good taste or the highbrow can become a bad taste. You can see Whistler from good one, medium one, and the bad one. You might not believe in the diagram by the Harper magazine. It's okay, but the point of this slide is to show you that it it can be changed. It can be changed over time. Um, the role of art and the role of artists in uh 20th century, sorry, not 20th century, it's actually 21st century, the late, sorry, the late 20th century to 21st century, the role of the artist changed a lot. Um, Artists have to involving in many social activities. Some artists um, turn to be the activists, the voice for the justice, the voice for the peace. Let's say the painting at the Berlin Wall that separate Germany from East and West. Artists try to voice something to destroy this wall and to to unite the country together. On the top left, this is one of a famous artist. His name is Keith Haring. He is an American artist. He's he is a graffiti artist. So he used chalk or pen to draw something on the wall without permission. he 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 got arrested many times. But this is the way he produced his artwork. It not like the artist who paint in the studio. No, he paint in the public space. Uh, the bottom part is Thai graffiti. Um, his His name is Alex Face, not the real name, but this is the name that he used in the art world, Alex Face. Um, he also um, he also a real graffiti artist. He paint without permission. He just pass um, the lane, maybe the small lane, and oh, this lane should have an art. So he paint the art. He passed somebody's house, and he found, oh, your wall should have an art, and he painted. And absolutely, some people don't like him because he just paint the wall and without any permission from the owner. Right now, he is very famous. Owner invite him, "Oh, please paint my wall." But in the past, okay, you paint my wall, I call the police. This is what he um, he doing his art in the past. But I just try to show you that artists nowadays are more and more involving with the real world. Um, we still have a group of artists who work in the studio. I believe that a majority of artists still work in the studio, but another chunk of artists that growing bigger and bigger, they don't work in the studio, or even though they work in the studio, um, they voice something for the real world, not for the not for the ideal or not for something conceptual. They voice for the real world. And after World War II, I believe that media got a heavy influence in our life, in everybody' life. Um, Print, okay, old and traditional. We found it traditional right now, print, but still relevant to our life. TV, absolutely. We watch Netflix, which is a kind of the TV show. Social media, this kind of thing influence our life a lot, and it mass produced by so-called commercial artists, um, and fine artists might look down on this kind of work that, oh, lack of skill, lack of concept, lack of intellectual. But it is something that we consume every day, and it shaped our mind and it shaped our perception. We consume it every day, and I believe that we quite used to this kind of art more than the fine art in the gallery. um, for me, I was born on 1979. My I spent my childhood in 1980s to 1990s. Um, that's the best year for me, 80s to 90s. I grew up with this kind of thing. We also have the comics book from uh, America. We also got a comic book from Europe as well, but not quite popular. Comic book from Europe popular in Thailand around 1960, around 1960, and then the comic from America, but not as much as popular as the comic from Japan. My generation read Japanese manga a lot. Anyway, we also got a comic from China as well, the Sun Mao from China. Not not quite popular, but we still consume it occasionally. And we also have our own comic book called Kai Hua Ro. Mm. Sometimes it's a dirty joke, sometimes it's a daddy joke. Anyway, that the consumerism, what consumerism in Thailand happened in 80s to 90s. On the left hand side, it little bit too old, but we also got the animation. But it is an animation that promote the the ideology of uh, democracy supported by America. And the reason why Thai government produced that animation because they would like to educate people to oppose the ideology of the communism, and that's why we got the animation. And this is just lowbrow art. This is very lowbrow. Uh, not this is something that cannot step into the art gallery. Um, Nowadays, because this light is the lowbrow art or the culture in 1980s. Nowadays, you can find this kind of art. It might consider in lowbrow art as well, but I find it pretty cool. The drag race for the bike, and on the bottom right is the engine for the boat race. We have the boat race in Thailand. They are quite cool. They modify the engine with a colorful pipe. And we have the graphic design on the top left, the graphic design for the temple. I don't know who established this pattern, but it become the pattern for the temple. Every temple use this pattern, use this set or the color palette. I don't know why. And we have a truck, and we love to paint the truck in a colorful way. Um, Lowbrow art flourish nowadays. They're quite flourish, and many artists, the new generation, turn to lowbrow art in order to go against the institution or go against the traditional gallery. Because okay, if you want to be a national artist in Thailand, you have to you have to show respect to Thai traditional art. You have to show respect to uh, Thai key institution like religion, or I mean, when I said religion, I mean Buddhism, or you might need to promote the morality in the society. But if you are an artist who want to expose the dark side of Bangkok or dark side of Thailand, or you are an artist who don't care about the Buddhism. I don't want to associate with Buddhism. I'm not religious. Uh, you cannot be a national artist, and the Ministry of Culture will not curate your work to the National Museum or the National Gallery. So you are rejected. um, this group of artists, right now they find another way to express their idea. And in the art world, lowbrow art is gaining more popularity, especially in the past uh, decades. In the past decades, I would say past 2 decades. It actually the lowbrow art form in okay from the textbook, it was formed in America during the 80s to 90s. Um, from and the inspiration uh, derived from the comic book, the advertisement, or some cheap magazine. Okay, right now, the artists who find inspiration from the cheap magazine or for advertising, they develop the new kind of art that called the lowbrow art movement. I would say it can be called a movement right now, the lowbrow art movement. In the past, this kind of movement cannot step into the gallery because the subject is not reflecting the intellectual enough. The skill might not good enough because many lowbrow artists they don't have a proper training from the art school. But when lowbrow artist is more and more popular in the society, many artists who train in the art school turn to explore their creativity in this art style, and they they bring the skill, the critique in contemporary art to the lowbrow art and redevelop it into uh, pop surrealism, um, which is um, which is not uh, a rigid term to call this kind of art. It's still it is still interchangeable between lowbrow art and pop surrealism. But in in the art world, okay, not in the art world, but for the sense of younger generation artists, I would say for the younger generation artists, pop surrealism refer to the lowbrow art with academic skill. Okay, I think that might be the shortened explanation of the pop surrealism. But you can just categorize both things in one umbrella as a lowbrow art as well. Um, there are many artists who used to be graphic designers or side painter. You just uh, do the side painting, or the car painter who become a lowbrow artist. And right now, gallery accept this kind of art to the gallery. And this is the work of the Thai lowbrow artist. You can see that it like it just a normal illustration. Um, is it show the level of intellectual that critique the sophisticated art theory? I don't know. Um, how about the skill? Is it a very skillful person? Um, they are skillful. They got some skill, but they may not got the same level as a traditional artist. But is it good enough to be accepted by the gallery or institution? Right now, this kind of art are accepted by the gallery. Uh, many Thai gallery accept this kind of art, and many international gallery like Dorothy Circus in the UK also accept this kind of art. Um, but Dorothy Circus promote the term pop surrealism. They don't promote the term lowbrow art. They promote the term pop surrealism. But this kind of art are now accepted by the gallery. But it might not be accepted by the museum. I mean the museum, which is the state institution or the government institution. The museum might not feel comfortable to accept this kind of art to the institution museum. But for the gallery, it takes so many long time to accept this kind of art. But I believe that in the future, institution might more open to this kind of art, or the artist might develop something new and penetrate the institution. This is the last slide. From past to present, avant-garde artists who got the uh, vision, they always struggle because traditional exhibition space or traditional gallery might not understand what they do, or might not find their work is good enough to enter their own spaces. Um, but the reason why I I choose the topic, the evolution of art space and the rise of the lowbrow art, because if you go through my slide, you will see that the new movement, the new movement, um, they are rejected by the institution at the beginning, and they they might need um, 10 years time or 20 years time or more than that to gain more popularity from the society. And once society love it, many people, the mass love it, institution will change their mind. I believe that this might be happen to the lowbrow art as well. I might be wrong, but at least if you study cultural management, we cannot just study um, the, the 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 evolution of the art and the gallery from the successful case, but we might look into the society around us. Lowbrow art is just one movement that happened in the society. Or if you don't feel comfortable to use the term movement, it's just one art style that happened in the society. There are several art styles that also happen in the society, and these new art styles are not accepted by the gallery. If you are the first mover, if you are the first mover, and if you are lucky enough, you uh, got a connection with this artist and want this kind of art grow big in the future, your gallery will make a good profit in the future. This is from the financial perspective. And if it's wrong, okay, lowbrow art uh, might be disappear in the 10 years time. So it like the investment. If you invest in the right stock, if you go to the stock market, if you invest in the right stock, um, the price will go higher. If it's wrong, the price will go down. Yeah, it happened all the time. And this is the way the art gallery have to um, diversify their portfolio, not just rely on the old master who succeed the past, but they have to uh, scout the new artists who might be the star in the future as well. And this is my presentation for today. Thank you very much.